Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered where your strength has gone? Not just the way you look, but the way you feel. Maybe getting out of bed in the morning feels just a little slower. Maybe lifting something you used to carry with ease now makes your arms shake. Or maybe the stairs you've walked for decades now leave you breathless. You might think, well, that's just aging. But what if I told you that some of that struggle might actually be sitting on your plate? The truth is, muscle loss doesn't just happen because of time. It happens because of tiny choices, daily choices, that slowly chip away at your strength. And one of the biggest culprits? The very foods many of us were told were healthy, comforting, or harmless are quietly working against your muscles every single day. Today, we're going to uncover those foods, not to make you feel bad, not to overwhelm you, but to empower you. Because once you know what's silently stealing your strength, you can finally take that power back and feel like yourself again. But before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. This is a space where we talk honestly about health after 60, without judgment, without fear, and always with the goal of helping you live stronger, longer, and better. And if you've ever noticed yourself feeling weaker for no clear reason, leave a comment below. You're not alone, and your voice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. All right, let's talk about what's really happening inside your body. After 60, your muscle mass begins to decline naturally. It's called sarcopenia, and it's something most people never hear about until it's already done damage. But here's the part no one talks about. Certain foods can accelerate that decline. They don't just fail to support your muscles, they actively harm them. They create inflammation. They spike your blood sugar. They rob your body of the nutrients it needs to rebuild. And one of the worst offenders? It's hiding right there on your breakfast plate. Think about this. How many mornings have you started your day with a slice of toast, a bit of jam, maybe a bowl of cereal with low-fat milk? Sounds simple, harmless even. But most of those foods are loaded with refined carbohydrates and added sugars. When you eat them, your blood sugar spikes and then crashes. And when that happens repeatedly, it sends your body into a cycle of inflammation and muscle breakdown. Your muscles are like little engines. They need steady fuel, especially protein, healthy fats, and minerals. But when all they get is sugar and starch, they don't have what they need to maintain themselves. Over time, they start to shrink. And that's when you feel iron, your legs, your arms, your posture. It's not your age, it's your fuel. And don't get me wrong, carbs aren't the enemy. But not all carbs are created equal. The heavily processed kind, the kind that come in boxes, bags, and bright label say like kindling, they burn fast, leave you feeling empty, and do nothing to support your strength. It's like feeding your body cardboard and expecting it to build muscle. Let's take another example. Fruit juices. Now, fruit sounds healthy, right? We've been told for decades to drink our orange juice in the morning, maybe add a splash of apple juice for the kids. But here's the thing, when you squeeze the juice out of a fruit, you strip away the fiber that helps your body process that sugar slowly. What you're left with is essentially liquid sugar. And sugar in excess is muscle's quiet enemy. When you flood your system with sugar even from sources that seem natural, your insulin spikes. That's the hormone responsible for helping your body absorb nutrients. But when it spikes too often, your body becomes less responsive. And when your insulin sensitivity drops, your ability to build and maintain muscle drops with it. So that tall glass of juice in the morning, it may be doing the exact opposite of what you hoped. It's not giving you energy, it's giving your body an uphill battle. But maybe you're thinking, I don't even drink juice that often. That's great. But now I want you to look at your condiments. That's right, ketchup, barbecue sauce, salad dressings from the store shelf. These little additions sneak in far more sugar than most people realize. And day after day, they add up. Even seemingly innocent things like flavored yogurt can pack in more sugar than a can of soda. And while you think you're doing something good for your health, feeding your bones, feeding your gut, you're quietly robbing your muscles of the chance to repair. I know this might feel like a lot, like every favorite food suddenly has a hidden cost. But here's the truth. This isn't about removing every joy from your table. It's about becoming aware. About understanding which foods are giving your body the support it needs and which ones are taking it away. And once you start making that shift, the change is incredible. There was a woman named Irene who emailed me last year. She was 68, used to be full of life, but said she started feeling like her body was turning to jelly. Her words, not mine. She was still eating what she thought was a healthy diet: granola in the morning, fruit snacks in the afternoon, low fat, everything. But she felt weaker every month. So we went through her meals together, gently, without blame, and what we found was simple. She was eating foods that filled her up but didn't feed her muscles. So we made a few swaps: less juice, more water, less sugar, more protein. We added a few minutes of strength training to her mornings. Within 6 weeks, she told me she felt 10 years younger. And I believed her, because that's what happens when your muscles are finally supported again. They respond, they bounce back, they were never gone, they were just waiting. Now that we've talked about a few of the foods that quietly work against you, especially sugars and refined carbs, there are still more that you need to know about. Foods that seem savory or harmless, but actually drain your muscles over time. And understanding them can make all the difference in how you feel next week, next month, even years from now. Let's keep going. You'd be surprised how many foods that we grew up thinking were satisfying, wholesome, or filling are actually doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to muscle strength after 60. And sometimes the most damaging ones aren't the sugary cereals or fruit juices. They're the ones that feel like comfort. Let's talk about something almost everyone has in their kitchen: processed meats, ham, bacon, sausages, deli slices. They're quick, they're tasty, and they're part of so many family meals. But here's the problem: most of these meats are loaded with preservatives like nitrates and high amounts of sodium, which not only increase inflammation in your body, but also interfere with how your muscles recover and grow. Think about it. Your muscles aren't just battling age. They're also battling tiny, invisible forces inside you, like inflammation, that break down tissue faster than you can build it back. When you eat foods that stoke that internal fire, your body's natural repair process slows to a crawl. So even when you're doing the right things, stretching, walking, staying active, your results are getting undone from the inside out. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I only eat bacon on Sundays, or my sandwich doesn't feel right without a little ham. And that's okay. This isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about awareness. If your body's already showing signs of muscle loss, these are the moments where every little decision adds up. Here's a simple thought. What could you swap in just once or twice a week that gives your body more support? Maybe it's grilled chicken instead of deli meat, or a homemade tuna salad with olive oil instead of processed sausage. Small changes, big difference. And while we're in the kitchen, let's walk over to the pantry, specifically the shelf with the crackers, chips, instant noodles, and boxed mixes. These ultra-processed foods are everywhere. And here's the deal. They're not just empty calories. They actively displace the nutrients your body actually needs to preserve muscle. See, after 60, your body becomes more selective. It needs higher quality building blocks to maintain what you've already got. Every meal becomes a chance to either strengthen or weaken your foundation. So when you fill up on things made mostly of refined flours, synthetic flavors, and hydrogenated oils, you're not just missing out on nutrients, you're crowding them out. I once spoke with a gentleman named Frank. He's 74, lives alone, and had gotten into the habit of eating canned soup and crackers most nights. Easy, fast, and no cleanup. But he started noticing his arms were getting thinner. His grip felt weaker. He dropped things without meaning to. It wasn't until he replaced just one meal a day with real protein and vegetables, something as simple as eggs with spinach, that he started feeling more grounded, more balanced. It wasn't magic, it was nutrition. And now, there's one more food category we need to address. One that may surprise you: low-fat or fat-free products. You heard that right. For decades, we were told to fear fat, that low-fat yogurt, fat-free salad dressing, skim milk, those were the healthy choices. But here's what the food industry didn't tell us. When you take fat out of food, you also take out flavor. And to make up for that, they add sugar, thickeners, and artificial additives, things that absolutely do not help your muscles. More importantly, your body needs fat, not in huge amounts, but in the right forms. Healthy fats help regulate hormones, reduce inflammation, and actually improve your ability to absorb the vitamins and nutrients your muscles need to grow. So when you cut fat completely, you're starving your body of essential tools for strength. Let's take yogurt as an example. Full-fat, plain Greek yogurt is packed with protein, calcium, and probiotics. It helps with digestion, supports bones, and gives your muscles exactly what they crave. But switch that out for a fruit on the bottom, low-fat version, and suddenly you've got a sugar bomb with barely any nutritional benefit. So the next time you're shopping, ask yourself, am I eating this because it's truly good for my body, or because I was told a long time ago that fat is bad? Give yourself permission to rethink those old food rules. They were written in a different time, and your body has new needs now. And here's something I want you to hear loud and clear. You are allowed to eat well. You are allowed to feel strong. Food is not a punishment or a reward, it's a message. Every bite is a way of saying to your body, I care about you. I want to support you. And when your muscles feel supported, they return the favor. You feel steadier when you walk. You get up from your chair with less effort. You carry things with confidence. You trust your body again. That's the power of eating for strength. Not eating for the scale. Not eating for the rules someone else handed you years ago, but eating to keep living fully. So now you've seen how sugary foods, processed meats, ultra-refined carbs, and low-fat imposters all quietly chip away at your strength. But we're not done yet. There are still a few more food songs that many seniors eat every day that can sabotage muscle health without making a sound. And understanding them could be the final piece in helping you turn things around. Let's keep going. By now, you're probably starting to see a clear picture. The foods we put into our bodies after 60 don't just affect our weight or digestion, they shape our strength, our balance, and our independence. And some of the most common, everyday choices can slowly wear away at our muscles if we're not paying attention. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked culprits, alcohol. Now, this isn't about judgment. A glass of wine here, a beer, there is part of life for many. But what most people don't realize is how alcohol, even in small amounts, interferes with muscle recovery and protein synthesis. That means every time your body tries to rebuild or preserve your muscle tissue, especially after active alcohol steps in and makes the process harder. It also dehydrates your cells, interrupts your sleep quality, and lowers the production of hormones that support muscle growth, like testosterone and growth hormone. And over time, it doesn't just impact your liver or memory, it affects how strong and steady you feel when you get out of bed in the morning. I once spoke with a man named Thomas, 70 years old. He didn't drink heavily, just 1 or 2 beers most evenings to unwind. But he started noticing that no matter how much he walked or stretched, his legs kept feeling weak. When he cut back just a little swap beer for sparkling water or herbal tea, 3 nights a week his sleep improved, his balance returned, and for the first time in months, he didn't need to use the railing when going down the stairs. It's not always about cutting things out completely. It's about paying attention, listening to your body, giving it what it truly needs to thrive and not just what's easy or familiar. And finally, we need to talk about one more group of foods, deep fried favorites. Crispy, golden, comforting, and quietly inflammatory. French fries, fried chicken, onion rings, even those healthier veggie chips that still come out of a fryer. These foods create oxidative stress in the body, the kind that damages your cells, increases joint pain, and slows down your ability to maintain lean muscle. Now here's the thing. These foods might make you feel full for a moment, but what they leave behind is fatigue, heaviness, and an even deeper craving for more of the same. Your muscles don't get fed, your energy dips, and the longer you rely on them as a comfort, the more disconnected you feel from your body. But there's another way. When you begin to replace these foods not all at once, not harshly, but little by little, you'll start to feel the difference in your body almost immediately. Try roasting instead of frying. Choose nuts over chips. Reach for baked sweet potatoes instead of fast food fries. Each small decision you make sends your body the message, I'm choosing strength. I'm choosing life. And here's the beautiful part. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and kind to yourself in the process. You don't have to throw everything out of your pantry tomorrow. You don't have to feel guilty for the foods you've loved for decades. What matters is what you do next. Today, right now, start by noticing which foods leave you feeling sluggish, which ones give you energy, which ones leave you feeling steady and clear-headed. Your body is wiser than you think. It's been talking to you all along. All you have to do is start listening again. And when you dial in, you start choosing whole foods over packaged ones proteins over sugar, water over wine, nourishment over habit, you will begin to feel the change. Not just in your muscles, but in your life. You'll rise out of chairs more easily, walk with more purpose, pick things up with more control. You'll stop worrying about every step. You'll start moving with joy again. This isn't just about food. It's about freedom. So today, I want to ask you, what's one small change you can make this week? Just one. Is it skipping the flavored yogurt for a plain one with berries? Swapping soda for herbal tea? Walking past the chips aisle and grabbing some almonds instead? Whatever it is, make that choice for your future self. The one who still wants to travel, to laugh freely, to dance at family gatherings, to feel strong in their own skin. And if this message spoke to you today, if it helped you see something in a new light, take a second right now and leave a comment below. Share your story. What foods have you decided to let go of? Which ones are helping you feel stronger? You never know who your words might help. And if you haven't yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is more than just a health video. This is a place where we grow stronger together, where age is not a limit, but a new beginning. Remember, small changes, done consistently, create big results. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are simply ready for a new chapter. And that chapter begins right here, with one better choice, with one more step towards strength. Here's to food that fuels your freedom. Here's to a life lived fully at any age. And here's to you. You've got this.